Check. My all mic'd up. Check.
Should be all Mikey'd.
Mikey.
Mic'd it up. So what I'm gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
what we should both do, is wear it on the left side of your collar, which kind of, and wear it high on the left side of your collar.
High on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like right here.
Tweak it, let me see. Switch that around. So I gotta flip this around.
Flippy floppy.
There we go. I feel like I just literally discovered that this month. There we go.
Sweetness. I like this.
Delicious.
Deliciousness.
Delicious. We're like hippies today.
Hippies?
Hippies. Oh, we're just here in the grass.
Just for the special friends.
I'm actually gonna kick these off. Just fuck it.
We're going barefoot today.
Hello!
What is this podcast?
Alright, do me a favor. Press the button in the back of that fan so it's running.
Yeah, we don't need it overheating. I
Yeah.
got sandy on my toes.
There's a soft button on the back of it. Ooh, let's feel for it. Or you can, yeah. And you got one more thing back there too to check. It's just doing behind the scenes. Yeah. Oh,
We're gonna sit crisscross applesauce.
I guess so. I mean, you can do it whatever you want. I guess it's Lotus.
Lotus.
On how
It's
you
just,
ask.
I'm not a yogi, so I don't
No.
know how to do these
But
things.
you probably have better flexibility than I want to say 80%
Well,
of people claim to be.
Yeah, I've always been pretty mobile. And that's why I rarely get injured.
True.
Knock on grass.
Your inchworms are something to aspire to.
Yeah.
Oh, there's and if that starts to die, there's in the bag is the spare batteries.
And I
In the bag
Okay.
are spare batteries.
and I can riff off of what we did the other day,
Yeah.
because it's summer. Like
It's summer.
things these young athletes should be working on.
That's true. So you do a little
Yeah.
crack into a little.
We'll do a little bit of everything. I
Everything.
definitely want to talk about.
Are we starting? Is it going? Okay. I'm just gonna for everything. Then we can start going. So you can do a little intro.
A little intro.
Yeah. Just like, welcome to Florida's first podcast. Blah, 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 blah.
Bayfront edition with the big old yachts that I wish I had. We rolling? Are we
We're
good?
rolling.
Oh, what's up, man? Welcome to Florida's Fittest podcast, Bayfront edition. Out here in sunny, beautiful downtown Sarasota.
Hippie edition. Because
Yeah.
we're doing cross-legged.
Yeah. Is it Yogi edition?
Feeling
Feeling
it's like
very-
rich Sarasota edition. It's like
Very
balance
zen.
of nature / affluence in the background.
Yes. Yeah, I don't feel very zen with all the
No.
affluent in the
Yeah.
air.
There's so many boats in the back.
that's me being me. But yeah, like there's a lot of things going on in the sports world. Obviously, Florida's reopening, which is awesome. A lot of people from up north, which I'm originally a northerner, have issues with that. But you're not in Florida, so
So shut up.
yeah, you're not
shut
living this life really. So
Yeah.
you have no say. But yeah, like I know sports are opening back up.
Yeah.
Professionally at least, and then just a couple hours ago the governor said that youth activities are opening up, so youth sports including summer camps are going to be opening up soon, so that's awesome too.
Yep.
That's really great for, so a lot of these kids are just stuck at home
Yeah.
doing virtual learning, which is well and good unless you do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I
I just kind of want to break in. It's kind of the reason we're doing this outside.
Yeah.
It's like
Get out
this
of the
is
house.
the first week that places are officially opening up, at least with Florida too.
Yeah.
So might as well get outside and
And like, I mean, the weather's always beautiful here, Sarasota. Just like the TV show Siesta Key always says. Except
Yeah.
it's not 78 degrees
we're
outside all the
actually in
time.
Siesta Key right now.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Bayfront Park is part of Siesta Key.
It's all Siesta Key.
You don't notice the sarcasm in my voice.
From
and
here
I
to
can't help you.
75 to like
Till here
Santa
from
Maria,
to
to
yeah,
like Venice.
yeah,
It's
Anna Maria
all
Island and
Siesta Key.
downtown Venice, it's all siesta key.
Yep.
All of it.
Well, that's like everything in Los Angeles is Hollywood. It's
True.
all Hollywood.
Well, I wouldn't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
pretty
never
much
been out
the Same
there.
deal. Pretty much the same deal.
Well, then if that's the case, then Long Island is part of New York City.
Yeah, the way it breaks down is like you got the hills, and then you got the OC. That's basically the only breakdown.
True. So where's San Diego? Not
San Diego's technically like the OC. Whoa.
And if you hear that, that is Sarasota getting angry with us for making fun of it.
Thor is present.
Thor's present. Strike us down. But yeah, well, let's get into some stuff before we get rained out.
Yep.
But you heard about we talked about Unbroken Designs earlier before.
Oh yeah.
Unbroken Designs, a CrossFit equipment, sports equipment, athletic wear gear.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like the owner, Jen Rando, made a derogatory comment.
Starts with a W.
Yeah,
ends with back.
In her Instagram post for their kids, which is, it's just, I mean, I'm sure you face your share of discrimination as well as I have, and like I feel like everyone has, and it just shows what kind of person you are. Like, you can't be that naive or ignorant to it.
Yeah.
And like I don't hate you for it. It's just, it is what it is. Like, you lost respect from me as a person. But what happened after was totally uncalled for.
Well, she didn't do a really good job.
She didn't do it. No, she was very disingenuous when she apologized. Yeah, which is fine because like you can cut ties with her company.
Yeah.
You can not support her vision. You can even unfriend her. But the death threats, like especially towards her children, is uncalled for. Like,
it's always unnecessary.
Yeah, like it's very unnecessary, and it's unfortunate that our society and our new norm has come to this, where you can get behind a keyboard, you can find out everyone's information right away, and then do these credible threats, like having their home address and saying that I'm going to cut your head off is a credible threat, in the eyes of law enforcement. So. For people doing that, it's totally wrong, totally uncalled for. And like, let's just come from a person who's faced discrimination before, like just take the high road and just, walk away.
Yeah, doxing is a weird thing.
Yeah.
People use it as a means of like influencing other people.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. But I mean, it's weird that like, it really is weird that we can't live in a society where you can have a difference of opinion, or in this case, make a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Without someone randomly threatening your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's very unfortunate that this is, society has come to this, and it's ridiculous. Yeah. But speaking of more society.
Well, before we continue, like, I think besides that being related to this podcast because it's Unbroken Designs.
Yeah.
The other part of it is just like part of developing strength in anything is the willingness to face adversity, and sometimes you have to tackle situations like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying this both for her and for people who are on the other side of that. It's learning to go, okay, I'm not gonna go out of. I am such an insecure human being that my only way of finding some sense of validation in my life is to be part of a mob and threaten to kill another person.
Yeah.
That's kind of lame. It's not kind of lame. That's actually.
Well, that just goes to my sheep theory. Like once again.
Yeah.
So, speaking of sheep, and I've like this whole COVID. I'm so sick of COVID-19. Like
That's why we're out here.
Yeah. So I'm out here, not social distancing, being healthy and conscious of, or aware of the risk that I'm taking. Mm-hmm. But things are opening up. I don't want to be at home all the time. Because, so I get trapped, like I said before, I get trapped in my own thoughts. If I don't write it out, I wallow in it. So I'm happy to, be able to go to a gym, be able to escape my own reality, be able to talk to my friends and family without having to worry about stuff. And like, going to the grocery store still causes like a lot of anxiety because everyone's wearing a mask and everyone's walking down these one-way aisles, and like it's getting kind of ludicrous at this point.
For you?
Yeah, for me at least.
I feel like a jerk.
Yeah. No, I simply don't care. Like, Like I had a lady before tell me in Publix, she suggested that I should wear a mask, and
Excuse me, young man.
yeah, well, like out of nowhere, and I've grown more mouthy as I gotten older. Thanks, Dad. I get that from you, but you know, just a snide remark, like because she said it very snarkily. I don't. Is that a word? Snarkily? I just made
We'll call it a
snarky.
word for this episode.
Yeah, and
We'll say it's a word.
so I looked in her basket and I'm like, you should watch what you put in your body, and I just left it at that. You know, like don't tell me how to live my life. Like you can worry about yourself. So
Listen, lady.
that's all I got to say about face masks. just don't be a sheep. Like do what makes you comfortable, makes you feel safe, but don't follow everything you hear.
I mean, if following a crowd, following your particular crowd makes you feel comfortable, don't pawn that off. Don't push that on other people. There is a certain etiquette to dialogue and criticism and conversation with people, and be like, hey, I'm genuinely concerned about your health.
Yeah.
Here's a mask. Like, here's a mask.
Yeah.
Don't be like, wear a mask, you idiot.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It doesn't really like bode well for your message, let alone it doesn't really get it across that no one cares. People just get defensive
Yeah,
and annoyed.
It's more annoyance than anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna get defensive about it. It just
Yeah.
is what it is. Like, hey, I respect that you wear a mask, and that's all well and dandy, but
It's funny because I know because I'm excited that we're going to be able to develop more of Streamline soon.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post on a triathletes group. They actually had to, I think it was the CDC had to put out
like a guidelines.
a guideline for not wearing your mask or cloth mask while you go swimming.
Well, okay, so there's a thing with common sense. Like they say, it's not so common. If you try to wear a mask while you swim, chances are you're either going to waterboard yourself or you're going to drown. Like those are the two things. Just use your head. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, like I'll say this as a former swimmer, chlorine kills about 98% of everything,
That's true.
including your hair and skin.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Like I actually saw on the Sarasota YMCA Sharks Masters group, they have open water, like open lane, open swim times or whatever, and like designated slots. You're not allowed to use the locker rooms, and it's like I get it because it's the YMCA and a lot of the elderly community of Sarasota goes there.
Yeah.
So they're more susceptible to this. I'm not even call it a pandemic. It's
Situation.
This situation, viral infection. That's all it is. I get it. Like for their safety and everything, and they have designated times. I think 45 minutes to half an hour. That's good enough to do whatever kind of yardage you need to do. But still, I just can't wait for things to get back to the way they were. Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna say normal because what is normal?
You're right.
So just back to things where they were,
Things
where
are
people
open.
weren't freaking out over silly things.
Oh, you're going to be freaking out for a little bit longer. You are.
Yeah.
You will be.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
But moving on.
we're moving on. Like we've been working on some stuff.
Are they pressing on? Well, what's going on with the? I read something, and I didn't actually get a chance to read into it about the CrossFit Games in Aromas. What's going on with that?
The governor of California has a schedule for professional athletes opening up on June 1st, which bodes well for the CrossFit Games. A lot of the Games athletes that qualified are being disqualified now or disinvited. I don't know how, like uninvited.
Okay.
So people who place well at sanctionals, like Willie George, who I think is like the French champion, is uninvited to the CrossFit Games because of viral infection and travel and restrictions and all that stuff. So it sucks for like that case. And like you can't really, like if you're not inviting all the top athletes to the games, can you really call them the fittest on earth then?
No.
So, and like they cut teams, they cut age, like the age group, so they're ages now. Masters and teen athletes, so they're both cut. as well as teams. And what Rich Froning, four-time champion individual, and I think he's the 3-time or 4-time champion team with Mayhem Freedom. He's holding his own competition, so he basically gave a big middle finger to the Castro and CrossFit Games, and like, hey, I'm hosting my own event. So that's pretty cool, and like, yeah, good for him. I mean, that'd be a real, cool test, and I hope they, videotape it and
That's true.
put it on a like a YouTube stream
So
or
you're saying
something.
screw you to Castro?
Yeah, basically.
A lot of people said screw you to
Well,
Castro.
I mean, Castro is a very hard person to like, but he's not
kinda
wrong.
one of those
He's
squirrely
an acquired
guys.
taste.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I met Castro, like we'd be best friends, but I definitely want to punch him.
He's
You
got
know?
that vibe. Like,
He's kind of he definitely has that vibe. So I feel like
Alright,
it's
buddy.
yeah.
I dig the CrossFit Games, and you're carrying the torch
Yeah.
for Glassman, but you just have that look about you.
Yeah. He reminds me of like fraternity brother. I just want to punch him in the face. It's
He's
just
like the squirrely fraternity brother, though. He's
yeah,
not
but
even
he
like
definitely can kick your ass though, because he's a SEAL.
No, I don't think he ever became a SEAL. Did he?
I think he's a SEAL. Yeah.
Is he a SEAL?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was
I
in.
gotta
Yeah.
look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look into that.
Either way.
There was some like contention.
Either way, I feel like we'd be best friends, but we definitely want to fight at least once.
At least once, just to get it out of the way.
Just get it out of the way. Well, other than that, like gyms are opening back up, so I'm
True.
actually getting back into training, and I love it. I'm lifting the weights I used to lift. All of it's heavy, and just adding new stuff in there. Just regaining my strength, and I actually I've been working with you, putting together some stuff for high school athletes.
Yep.
So if you're a high school athlete, if you're like underclassmen, freshman, sophomore, going to your junior, senior year, there's some things that I wish that I knew back then that will help you. And if you're a high school athlete going into college, you made it to the pinnacle of basically sports, which is college athletics. I have some information for you guys that I wish I knew when I was going in. And thankfully I had my dad, who's very hard on me about sports and nutrition and workout routines. I had a kind of a leg up on a lot of athletes, but there's certain things that I wish I knew back then that I do now. So I'm going to share it with you guys, and hopefully it'll benefit you guys. We could talk about some of the things that they should be doing, especially if you're a high school athlete going into college. I don't really have to worry about the revenue sports, football, basketball, or baseball. But for your other sports, like you guys need to be running. It's summer. Regardless of what sport you play. If you're a swimmer, you need to be running. If you play golf, you need to, at least walk at least a 5K every day. Because you don't have a golf cart, and you're gonna have to carry your own clubs to every hole.
Yeah.
So, and like I know from my experience, like the golfers at Florida State, like they walk the stadium steps with their golf clubs on their backs. So, just a little heads up of like what conditioning is gonna be like when you get there, and like things you can do now that'll help you out.
Yeah.
I talked about like the 6 key lifts they should do, and why it's important, and we can go on off of like the lifts, and
Yeah. Want to drop that? A little breaky, right?
Yeah.
Here.
What's up, guys? It's Mark from Fittest podcast. I'm going to take you guys through a dynamic warm-up and show you guys 6 conditioning exercises every athlete should do. It's summer now, so all you guys doing high school sports, ready to go to the elite level, or high school sports going into the college level, you guys need to be doing this, making sure you're ready to perform at the best level you can. So right now I'm going to take you through a dynamic warm-up, because I'm old and I need a warm-up, but for you guys, this is going to get you ready for game time and practice to make sure you guys can perform at your best level. If you guys are not doing this, you're missing out. All right, first moving up, so it's just a forward jog and back pedal. So next, I like to do a high knee skip, back and forth. So all right, Next, I like to do skip for distance. So. All right, punters. Really stretch out the hamstrings, get nice and high. Punters with a skip. All right, lunge and twist. There's hip flexors open. Turn to the opposite side. Try to take at least 1 to 2 steps in between, but minimize them. All right, lateral lunge. Nice and low. All right, inchworms. Still working those hamstrings out. You can throw a little push-up in there. All right, jog it back. All right, that was just a brief example of what a dynamic warm-up would be. There's different variations, of course. And of course, like anything, there's 4 specific movements, karaoke, side shuffle, all that kind of stuff. Boom.
Thor's hammer's cracking, but
Mjolnir?
there's no rain in the...
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? There's no rain in the forecast today, so I guess we're good.
It's just called heat lightning.
Yeah. It's just
I don't
so
believe in heat
hot.
lightning. That's not real.
It's just so hot.
Just like a lot of things.
Like, now. It's not
Like
things.
COVID? What?
What?
I don't
What?
What?
Crazy.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, let's see. Okay,
And rolling.
we are back.
Sweet. Yeah. So yeah, I talked about like the weightlifting for athletes, like the things they should be doing. Not really concerned about the revenue sports because they have a pretty good strength program, but for the other athletes, I think it'll definitely help. Especially high school kids that are going to college, and even the high school kids that are trying to move up to, you know, their varsity team at least. So that's or the starting squad.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really beneficial. And like, there's things you can do now, like running, you know, regardless of what sport you play. Once you get into the weight room, like focusing on those 6 lifts will help you tremendously. Like, don't be the kid that does bicep curls the first day in the gym, because that's not going to help you in any way.
But won't it get me more girls?
No.
No?
Honestly, no.
You mean if I just improve my athletics, that might actually...
Well, let's put it this way, because I feel like most of the people listening are male. You need to get a female on the show, and that'll definitely help.
They do.
Yeah, but most people on the show are male, and I'll basically say this: where does your testosterone come from?
Steak.
What body part?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, your balls.
I know this
So basically, if you work your legs, you're gonna boost your testosterone because it's the closest big muscle group to them.
That's true. I like what you did. I like the dynamic warm-up stuff that you did.
Yeah,
And we talked about that.
like that's really important because, like, you know, over the years, like, people have done like static stretching, and that's actually proven to cause more injury than help. So like, static stretching is good for after like a workout, like cool down, But the dynamic warm up, if you're not doing it, and if your coaches are not having you do that, you're severely missing out. You definitely need to. It's going to get you more ready for game time. It's going to get you. You're going to have a better practice. And like we did it as swimmers, and like, you know, like, well, we're not on land. I'm like, yeah, well, it helped us in the water, you know, just as much. Mm-hmm. So definitely something to incorporate into every workout and every practice and every, you know, game day. So yeah, just things to work on, and like we'll give out little tidbits. I'll talk about like recovery, because that's a real big thing, and like especially when you're working out like 2-a-days, and you know, in the summer, you know, recovery becomes a big component. Like college, you know, you have the ice baths and the cold tub, which helps a lot.
There's all that, and the thing that if you followed this podcast,
yeah.
You've been pretty clear about, even since you were a kid, like sleep was a priority.
Yeah, sleep is huge.
Eating was a priority.
Yeah.
Like
key to recover, like
part of the whole package.
Your muscles don't grow when you're exercising. You're actually damaging them. The only way they grow and you get stronger is if you rest properly. That's, you know, a thing that a lot of people need to understand, and you know, sleep is a big component. So like it doesn't matter how much sleep, well, it does matter, but like when you're a young athlete, especially like in your teen years, like if you're not getting like at least 8 hours of sleep, you're only hurting yourself. So, you know, as you get older, obviously you need less and less sleep. So like for us, like we can get away with having 6 hours of sleep. 3 hours of sleep.
It's not optimal, and frankly,
you're on
the times that I've been able to sleep more have been the best for my recovery.
Yeah, you're on like the Uberman sleep cycle.
I don't know
like,
what I'm on.
Like the 3 hours, and you feel like you slept for 8 hours.
It's all that math.
Yeah. Just kidding. That's a joke.
That's called a joke, people.
Yeah. But yeah, sleep is very optimal. Nutrition obviously is very optimal. Like you have to focus on what you put in your body, how much you're fueling it. And just timing. I mean, like Steffi Cohen already debunked the 30-minute window between post-workout window. Like you can actually feed up to like 2 hours after you work out, and it's totally fine. But
I think the theory behind that is that the mTOR pathways kind of decline as you get further and further away from that post-workout window.
Yeah.
But you still can take advantage of the fact that your body will shuttle most of those nutrients into your muscles. I think that's what people are trying to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Is they want to shuttle as much of the nutrients that they take in after the fact into the body. A consideration. I'm gonna nerd out for a second.
Yeah. Dude, nerd off all you want, man.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. So
nerd off all over your faces. Important consideration is that when it comes to that post-workout window, is you do have to be in a relaxed enough state where your body is not in that peri-workout fight or flight.
Yeah.
So it would behoove you to actually make sure that you have a pretty solid cool down period after the workout, and actually get out of that that sympathetic nervous system state, so that I can actually start to digest. Because when you're in workout mode and you're fight or flight stress mode, your digestive system is actually it's not completely turned off, but it's not engaged.
Yeah.
Because it's not a priority to your body when you're in the middle of it.
I definitely noticed that. Like when I did CrossFit competitions, I could not eat after a workout. Even if I cooled down, I just couldn't eat. Yeah. And when I swam in college and high school, like I could not eat before I raced, and I could not eat after I raced. I had to wait until prelims were over or finals were over until I could eat again. It's just one of those things. At least for me as an athlete, I knew athletes who can, were eating sandwiches literally 30 seconds before they raced. Like I was one of those people who couldn't do that.
Stuff too. That stuff has to be trained. But I mean, just to primarily focus on that post-workout window, do make a point to relax as best you can. For me personally, what I've been doing is I do take what's called holy basil or Tulsi. I'm still looking for the literature on that specifically states that it calms things down as far as your sympathetic nervous system goes. Yeah. I just tell people that it kind of does the opposite of what caffeine does, which is to hype up your sympathetic nervous system, get you into fight or flight. And the reason for taking the holy basil or the Tulsi post workout is to get you more into that zone of actually relaxing. Yeah. So whatever it is that you need to do to get into that mode is going to help with digestion. And just to address your point about training and eating, if you're going into an event or going in events, triathletes, runners, CrossFit Games athletes, or anything like that,
just basically any athlete, like
and fueling is going to be part of the event. You need to train that in because your body needs to adapt it, or you need to know whether or not you need to fuel at different times. Like maybe you need to fuel up a lot the evening prior to the event for you to actually digest enough of that fuel to carry you through a certain portion of the events.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
Like I'll give an example, especially for me. I had to fuel up the night before. Like traditionally for swimmers, like the night before a big meet or even a weekend meet, it's we go to an Italian restaurant, carb loading, lots of pasta, all kinds of pasta. It didn't matter. I mean, especially since we were that hyperactive, it really didn't matter what we ate, but we just had just a bunch of carbs.
Very glycolytic.
Yeah. And like I was always smart. Like I always had like the big salad before too. So like I have all my micronutrients in there as well. I stayed away from red meat before the meat because it's harder to digest. Like obviously chicken or fish was much easier. Yeah. So I did a lot of that. And then post college and into like CrossFit, like when I did CrossFit competitions, I have to know, like I know the night before, like I have to eat a certain amount of food in order, and then in the morning have breakfast, which is going to be like something very quick and simple, like maybe oatmeal with like berries or like a banana and a protein shake, just enough to get me through the morning and have some reserve fuel in me, because I know I won't be able to eat in between events. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I was the same way with swimming. I couldn't eat in between events. Like thankfully we had Powerade, in college, where that gave me enough, boost to get through multiple events and then able to hold me off until after prelims was over. So that helped a lot. So just be smart with your nutrition and always like plan out. If you plan out your meal plan out your meal like in between events, like what you're going to eat. Yeah, so,
and all that, what Mark said right now is a matter of him tweaking and adjusting over the course of the years that he's been training. So if you're just getting into this, try and follow whatever's already out there and adjust according to whatever your body does.
Yeah, just you have to know your body too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I know my body from trial and error, things that worked, things that didn't. It's like just be in tune with your body, and like it will. 9 times out of 10, it won't screw you over. Basically. Yeah. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, and things will change too, from event to event, from sport to sport.
Age to age.
Change. Age to age. Things do change. Like for example, I mean, you made a really good point about how intuitively you just didn't eat heavier proteins like steaks prior to events. Yeah. That makes sense, because maybe that's just how Mark's body processes it. You may process it completely different. Again, it's just a matter of tweaking and adjusting as you go. You're as an athlete, you have to keep an eye and be aware of that, because you're always trying to cultivate as much optimal performance as you can.
Yeah.
Cool. That's my spiel. What else we got?
Not really much. I mean, kind of another filler on beautiful Bayfront. Yep. Just like get outside, people. Like enjoy the weather. We had a nice get together at Siesta Key the other day.
We did.
We weren't social distancing. We met up with friends and had a party on Beach Access 2. Lots of food, which was delicious.
Lots of food.
Lots of food.
Oh my God.
Big Mike and Ali Rex were there. And Dan and his girlfriend were there, and his kids. So we had an awesome get together with lots of food. Water was beautiful, the beach was beautiful, and it was nice to see everyone out. Like even like the young kids, like it's crazy.
Young kids.
Yeah, the young kids, man. It's totally different. your music is a lot different than what we listen to.
Yeah.
And like we're not even
I'm pretty sure our
that
parents
far.
and our grandparents said the same thing.
Yeah, but we're not even that far away from age as they are.
Yeah.
Like realistically, you know, maybe like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, we can riff on this a little bit, but the new age rap sucks. Like I hate it. It's so bad.
It's just different.
It's horrible, dude. Like I don't even understand like what they're saying 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And like they all look like circus clowns. Like one dude was he got arrested for snitching basically. It's Kashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I listened to one of his songs. I was just like,
he legit looks like a clown.
He does look like a clown. I was like, this guy actually makes money off of this. Like this is like a lot of money.
I mean,
I don't
people
understand.
buy it, man. People buy it, and
I guess it's what's trending.
more power to them.
I think TikTok gave him the powers. Honestly, probably what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, mumble rap's the thing, and I don't get it. Like, I think the artists that are doing are the closest to like the sound that we're used to, like Wu-Tang and stuff. I would definitely say J. Cole.
You got J. Cole. You got Kendrick.
Kendrick.
You got, who else?
Drake sometimes.
Drake sometimes. Travis Scott's got.
Travis, yeah. Rick Ross, if he ever produces another
I know, right?
song.
He just is a kind of a hype man in the background for a
Yeah.
lot of things.
But like bring the old school back. Like that's so much better.
You definitely sound like an old head.
Yeah. Old head, boomer, whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Either way, I think the biggest takeaway from our beach get together is that really through all of this is that it's personal responsibility takes priority over anything.
Yeah.
And like no matter the amount of fear that you try to impose on anybody, like we said at the beginning, so people want to make their own decisions, and you have to be responsible for whatever it is that you decide to do, and that's sort of at the heart.
And you
of
know,
what
like
this is.
I didn't see anybody wearing a mask, and like no one said anything to us for not distancing or whatever. So it's you know, it's a small community, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, for people who want to live in fear and people who want to just let people do what they
You're
need
entitled.
to do. You know, you're entitled
You
to
do
do
what you
what you need to
Yeah.
do. I mean, after all, this is America. I mean, love it or leave it.
Yeah.
You know, don't impose your restrictions on me.
Understandably, the balance of like the social contract between large tracts of people is a little bit tricky, because when you have a group of people who are genuinely scared that they're going to die because this plague is going to sweep over the country, and then the rest of them are not, and then you have samplings of people who are not social distancing or following these guidelines, and you have entire countries like Japan and Sweden, and I think there are a few states that weren't doing it, who are okay or have about the same numbers as everywhere else. It's kind of hard to justify, and I think that just speaks to the fact that it really falls to personal responsibility.
Yeah, and like I've always had this belief too. Like sorry to cut you off, but like
no, it's good.
If you believe that you're not going to be ill, or if you're not going to get hurt, or if you're not whatever, if you're going to pass this test, or if you're going to make this lift, if you really believe it, it's going to happen. So like, I know for me, like I used to get sick a lot as a kid because both my parents were teachers, and they used to bring whatever they got from school home, and I used to get sick. And now as an adult, I get sick maybe once a year, if that. Yeah. And it's only for like maybe 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's all relative, and like not to say like I'm very dismissive of this thing, and it's for a reason, because like I don't think I'm going to get sick.
I call it optimism.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Like I can't stand when people are like you have a sniffle or you sneeze, like, oh, you're getting sick, aren't you? And it's like
no.
To some extent, there is a bit of logic behind that, in that once you kind of hold on to that idea that you're sick, then you stress out, which then elevates the amount of stress that's in your body, which then makes you more prone to actually getting sick, which makes you then actually sick. Yeah. It's like a self-perpetuating thing. Whereas if you
almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically.
Yeah. Whereas if you just look at it objectively and say, okay, I right now have one symptom. Let me address the symptom. I have sniffles. I have body aches. Okay, I'm like hot. So then you come to the conclusion ultimately, like, okay, these series of symptoms mean I have the flu. Yeah. Then you do that. You don't jump to the conclusion just because you go in this like weird like circle of like, oh, maybe you have fever, or maybe you have just an allergy, or maybe you have, it's like, it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
It's
totally
absolutely unnecessary.
But like for those people who are going to the gyms, like just
Be smart.
be smart. You know, if you're having no, if you even think you feel sick, don't go.
Yep.
And if you do go, wipe down your equipment and put your damn equipment away.
That's wild.
It's one of my pet peeves. I literally went on a rant earlier today on Instagram, and I sent it to the gym owner. Just be respectful. Like, just put your stuff away, man. I've never in my life have I used equipment and not put it away. You know?
What do you say? You know?
I don't know.
And there really is no excuse, by the way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, by the end of our workouts, by the end of our training sessions, we are tanked.
Yeah.
We're dead.
And like, especially like one of the powerlifters, like he went on a rant the other day. He's like, this guy squats 600 plus pounds. Okay. I can't even fathom what 600 pounds feels on my back. Honestly, I can't.
Heavy.
'Cause I've never done it, and I never will probably.
You can stand with it.
I don't think I can even stand with it, dude.
No.
That's a lot of freaking weight. That's 200 more than I've ever done. So if he has to put every single plate back,
Yeah.
and then the heavy bar that he uses, because if you don't
It's a
use the
little
right bar,
heavy,
yeah. You know, like if he left it on the rack, guarantee you I'd be pissed. But he's a genuine person, and
Yeah.
genuine athlete, like considerate person. He's gonna put it away.
Yeah.
Now, if you leave that stuff out, like that just shows what kind of person you are. You're just a person who doesn't give a shit, and you're just entitled. Like, just be respectful, like that. You know.
I mean, an entitled jerk.
Yeah, like
Jerks.
honestly, like for people who don't put their stuff away, they really should do stadium runs until their lungs bleed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you should be penalized. I think for every
Yeah.
time that.
Or like
I know.
a burpee for every pound you leave on the bar.
Ooh, raise the stakes.
It's
Raise
a lot of
the stakes
burpees.
there. I know.
That could be a lot.
That
Potential.
like after, well, it's like it has to be in tiers.
Yeah.
It was funny. I have a buddy of mine who went to go to jail for some ridiculous reason for a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. I think it taught him a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
But amongst the other inmates, there is a like level of like, if you screw up, I think if you screw up the one time amongst the group of inmates, it's like you do a couple of push-ups.
Yeah.
If you screw up a couple more times, it's like you do like something ridiculous, like 50 up downs, which is basically burpees.
Yeah.
And then if you screw up like a third time, it's like you get like a 2-minute beating, 50 up downs, and some like you get like, I don't know, like you're grounded. I forget what it was. It was something ridiculous.
You're on lockdown or something.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's like I think maybe that should be imposed.
Well, yeah, because like I mean, for me, for college at least, like if you were late to the weight room, you had sled pushes in the turf room.
Yeah.
I think you had 15 of them with a heavy ass sled.
Yeah.
Not fun. Not something you want to do at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
If you were late the second time, obviously you were kicked off. Like that, there's no excuse after that. And a lot of people learn the hard way. Conditioning wise, like if you failed stadium runs, we added another one. And like if you left out equipment, we added more stadium runs. It's just a
Delicious.
Yeah, you learn to appreciate.
learn.
Yeah, you learn real quick.
You're gonna learn.
Yeah, because stadium runs are not fun, especially in 100-degree heat.
Yeah.
Sled pushes at 5 a.m. are just something that I never want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you learn pretty quick not to screw up.
I think we just live in an environment where we are given so much room.
Yeah,
There is a lack of accountability because there are no consequences.
yeah,
Like whether it's not picking up your weights or feeling like you could just tell somebody that you're gonna go murder their kids. That's
Yeah.
just a lack of accountability.
yeah. There's a lack of accountability, and like
And it's something that you do learn
Well,
in athletics. You
this is the
learn-
thing about the internet too. Like, if you type on if you insult somebody on the internet, you can hide it. You're hiding behind a keyboard. Chances are you're never gonna run into them in
Never.
person.
Probably never.
Back in the day,
If you said something,
if
like
you
that
said
to someone's
something
face-
to someone's face,
Bah!
I guarantee you're gonna get punched in the face.
Yep.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that, but there's obviously consequences.
Yeah.
But that stuff doesn't happen. So like, I don't know, different times, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't necessarily grow up in the same rigor of athletics that you did, but what I've learned is that the weights don't lie. Weights don't lie. The training room doesn't lie. The training just doesn't lie. You can cheat, granted. Yes, this is why people for the most part don't like steroids.
Yeah.
And performance enhancing anything.
Yeah, PEDs,
But
steroids, and all that
That's
stuff.
because we aspire to some level of integrity amongst people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to be the kind of person that can't stand a politician because of his lack of integrity, but you act without integrity, you're a hypocrite, and you need to learn your own goddamn lessons. That's all I got to say about that.
Amen.
I'll wrap on that.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I mean, I have my thoughts on politicians, and like if you're a good dude, like if you're generally a good person, you care more about the people around you than yourself, then I'm behind you all the way.
Just remember, guys,
Yeah.
you abandoned Tulsi Gabbard,
Yeah.
and that was a good one. And now you've got Biden. So we'll let that one play out, however that plays out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into political views
But
because I have family members who listen to this, and
Yeah.
I'll definitely get a lecture sooner or later. So.
but I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Call it.
So we'll call it a podcast, and thank you guys for listening. As always, you guys can follow us on Instagram at Fittest Podcast, and
We're on Facebook.
we're on Facebook as well.
Fittest.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Breaker. I think there's another podcast stream we're on. Anchor, obviously.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, give us a listen, give us a 5-star rating or give us a 1-star rating. I don't care what you do, just give us a rating.
I'm busy working on the website.
Yeah,
I'm busy with a lot of things.
we're going to invest in some more mics and more equipment so we can bring more people on.
We got some shirt designs that'll be coming
Yeah,
out.
definitely
We'll see
some
about
shirt
having
designs.
people vote on that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You get to
we'll get some more guest speakers on here and get their different
More
perspectives.
ladies.
Yeah, more ladies.
So ladies,
Because it's basically just been a bro fest of late, which is not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but
it's a man cave.
yeah.
Setting up a lot of things. So
Yeah.
website, shirts, Patreon, or if you guys, if you want to get, this is an option.
Yeah.
If you guys feel like you want to,
We can put on Amazon wish list.
That's true.
And-
What I'd like to do too is Amazon wish list for some stuff we might need.
Yeah. Like the mics.
mics
Mics
and
are
other
not
things
cheap.
like that.
Cameras are
Yeah.
not cheap.
Yep.
Stands and electronics and all the stuff that help us produce this stuff.
Yeah.
All
Or
cost
just
money.
if you just
Yeah.
want to throw a few bucks our way for like gas so that we can go see other
Yeah.
people in the local area.
sure, yeah.
Or if you're feeling crazy and like want to throw flights our way, that'd be dope too.
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But just, whatever you want to support the podcast. What we can do right now is before we set up the Patreon, we could just do like a PayPal me link. People want to do that.
Yeah.
Just want to throw a few bones our way. And we'll just, whatever you want to throw our way definitely helps.
Definitely, help support us
Gets
and
the word out there.
yeah, kind of grow this whole thing. And like, obviously, like this is like we just want to help other athletes and shed light to different people's backgrounds because I had a unique background. You had a unique background in the sports. Everyone we've talked to had such a different way of getting into athletics, and it's very inspiring. Like none of us had the same background, so it was very excellent in how we all got together. So we're shooting this on Memorial Day weekend, so everyone stay safe, have fun, enjoy time with your family.
Wear your PPE.
Just kidding. All right, stay safe, guys.
We out.
See ya.